Hello everyone, welcome to our week 2 educational series webinar. We have a great product to talk about tonight. We're very excited and we'll be starting shortly, so stay with us. Thank you for your patience, and for those of you who just joined us, welcome. It's our week 2 product knowledge webinar. And just a quick note before we get started, this webinar will be recorded and available on demand tomorrow. So let's get started. I would like to introduce our host for this evening, Immunotec's very own President of North America and Europe, Meredith Burkich. Hi, Meredith.
Hello, thank you so much, and it's great to be here with you, Immunotec family. This is an incredible opportunity for you, whether you're listening live or on replay, to learn more about our incredible product line here at Immunotec, our family of products, and who better to talk to us about that today than our one and only, Dr. Jimmy Gutman, our Senior Advisor of Science and Clinical Research here at Immunotec. And just so you know a little bit about him, if you haven't had the privilege of hearing him in person or meeting him, he is a former professor at McGill University Medical School. He has served in various boards and actually was the undergraduate director and residency training director of emergency medicine at McGill. He has served on multiple national and international medical conferences, and he has also literally contributed to the training of thousands of doctors and students. As the world's leading author in the subject of glutathione, he really is the glutathione king. It has been his major focus. And what really captured my attention when I first met him was that we had an opportunity to talk to a gentleman who is all about solutions, who's all about what is the root cause of people's health. And he sat there in the emergency room night after night, year after year, and then said, you know what, I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. And so we are thrilled to have him as a member of our community here. And so Dr. Jimmy Gutman, are you with us today?
I am, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we have got a new product that we're launching now. And this is a great way, whether people have been here at Immunotec for a long time or have just joined us, to always zero in on these and say, you know, I have an opportunity to learn more about these products so that I can help my friends. So again, we want to talk about our brand newest member of the family of products here. And we're going to be talking about general nutrition today, I think.
Yeah, that's ain't that strange? A doctor speaking about nutrition.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna throw that one right back at you, Doc.
Yeah, and I understand, that a lot of people out there feel that way. You know, I'm gonna apologize on behalf of the entire medical community for doing an absolutely lousy job addressing nutrition over the past century. In medical school, as an example, I spent maybe 3 afternoons studying nutrition. But in defense of conventional medicine, I only spent 2 weeks studying stomach disease. So there's such a crazy amount of information that a medical student has to absorb in a very small amount of time. So nutrition was clearly not a big focus for us.
Well, I would hold on there. You and I have had many a conversation, and I'd say you are pretty good at this stuff, Dr. G. So where did the knowledge come from then?
Well, it's just lots and lots of time working on it. It's been well over 20 years since I made the decision to try to bridge natural medicine and conventional medicine. And I've also been fortunate, really fortunate, to learn some of the best people out there, including Gustavo Bunos and Patricia Kongsheven and Wolf Droge and others. And I need to mention that I've learned an enormous amount from the people in the field too. You all have been a wealth of information.
Well, and as a certified nutritional counselor myself with the AANC, I can tell you we are lucky to have each other, and we are certainly lucky to have these individuals around. So one of the reasons why this company has so many loyal followers, and of course I have an opportunity to speak with so many of them that have been taking our products for decades now. I think that probably one of the things that we're talking about today is you're going to start by defining a problem, because that's what you do. You define the problem, and then most importantly, outline some possible solutions for us. The scientific method.
You got it. You got it. Ready to go?
I am ready to go. Let's do this.
Well, here's a rather dramatic slide. This is incredible. You would think that the major health crisis would be something like heart disease or cancer, but in fact, the biggest problem we face in North America actually stems from what we eat, and in a lot of cases, what we don't eat. This itself leads to cancer. This leads to heart disease. This leads to countless other problems. So let's take a look at a typical family way back in 1960. You see mom sitting proudly there. She's prepared supper for the entire family, and dad and grandparents and her brothers and the kids. You see, back then, the vast majority of women stayed at home, and this is what they did. And let me make you aware of something else. It was rare for a family to go out to a restaurant to eat. I mean, that was a big occasion. Even my rich friends never went out to eat as a family more than once a week. And if I sat in a restaurant more than once a month, that was rare. Now let's move forward to 2019. Many families, they'll have almost as many meals in a restaurant as they will at home. Mom usually has a full-time job now, and we've been trained and convinced to do this by the food industry and certainly for convenience. So let's compare these two families. I mean, what is the most striking difference? I think you're going to say their size. I mean, do you see any overweight people in the 1960 photo? Now, here's what's even scarier. See that cute kid in 1960? Well, look what happened to him. He's big. And if you look at his son across the table, you can see that can't blame genetics for his large size. No, this is all what we do to ourselves. But give that little kid there scratching his head, a few more years of eating like this, and the problem is well underway. Here's another great shot. High school, when I went to high school. Now, do you see, look around, any overweight kids? Do you see any kids that don't look fit? Fast forward, 2019, here's a class out on a field trip. Now, how many kids do you see that are not overweight? I mean, this is really incredible. So let me speak again on behalf of all the health professionals out there, whether you are a doctor or a nutritionist or a naturopath. When an overweight person comes into our office, we don't make any judgments on aesthetics. We might think that that person is good looking. We may think that that overweight person is beautiful, but we will never think that that overweight person is healthy. It has nothing to do with aesthetics. Overweight people are far more prone to diabetes and stroke and heart attack and hypertension and dementia and even depression. So this is a true crisis and the biggest, pardon the pun, health problem facing us in this country today. Well, let's go beyond this country. Let's look at a world map of obesity. Here, if you look at this, the dark blue is the largest people, the lighter blue and still obese, but not as big, and the thinnest people are in the yellow areas. And you can see from this map that obesity has very little to do with economic prosperity. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with location. And you'll see that Mexico, USA, and Canada leads the pack. Russia's doing pretty good too. Now, let's look at the rate at which people are actually dying from obesity. And here's Immunotec's 3 biggest markets, Mexico, United States, and Canada. Now, being on or near the top of this list is not something to be proud of. It's something that urgently needs to change. Here's another chart for those of you who are so inclined. It shows the percentage of overweight people that have grown over the years. The USA, look at that for example. The USA has been tracking these numbers longer than anybody else. And there's several things to note here. For the United States, get this, the percentage of overweight individuals has almost doubled since I was in medical school. And Mexico is #1. And Canadians, don't be so smug, over half of you are overweight. So what is it about fast food and prepared food that contributes to this problem? Let's compare. They're usually missing important nutrients that you require for good health. More often than not, they contain high levels of fat. Same thing with sugar, and that includes ketchup. There's a big difference in the type of carbohydrates in these foods. The ones with the highest, we have a term called a glycemic index, are found in fast or prepared foods. And even fast foods are still more expensive than fresh foods, but most people are willing to pay for them. Here's the killer slide here. Here's the #1 reason why these meals are so popular. They're convenient and they're easy, and we just don't have the time and energy. Now, women now have jobs that can be 50 or 60 hours a week, so the stay-at-home, cook-at-home mom is not a phenomenon we see very often. Most, but certainly not all men are not particularly adept in the kitchen. Men are busier than they've ever been. Going shopping for fresh produce just takes a lot of time. And for women, multitasking is the rule. It's not the exception. So we're faced with a choice that try to struggle in the kitchen after a long day's work, or go ahead and go to a restaurant or pull out some fast prepared frozen food from the freezer and just make your life a little bit easier. Not healthier, but certainly easier. So this crisis has spawned a rapidly growing health supplement industry. There's a Freudian slip for you. Industry. One of the ways that the health and nutrition and supplement industry is trying to help us is by giving us alternatives. And one of the most popular products in it are these shakes. I mean, you're going to be overwhelmed with the choices. How do you make the right decision to get something that's better than junk food or better than pre-prepared food? How do you get the nutrients that we're otherwise missing? So you take something like this off the shelf. Okay, you're actually looking at one of the best-selling shakes in North America, and you look at this packaging, and you're feeling good about this choice. Look, it says right there on the meal, on the package, healthy meal. Isn't that just what you're looking for? And you see things like high quality protein. Wow, let's take this home to the family. No. This is what you need to be looking at. Please, you need to learn and you need to look at the nutritional labels. You can't just look at the pretty package. Let's take a closer look at this package, this extremely popular healthy shake. Okay, I'm going to blow that up for you, for those of you who are my age and don't feel like running to get your glasses. What? 9 grams of protein and 9 grams of sugar? As much sugar as proteins? That can't be good. Now look even closer. In the section that says ingredients, things are listed according to the quantity that they appear in the package. In other words, your top of the list, that's what's mostly in the package. Okay, so the ones at the top are the ones that are the highest amounts. Okay, I've blown that one up for you to see it even better. Now observe. The largest ingredient is soy protein. You need to know that soy protein is by far the cheapest protein available. It has a very low biological value, which is a reflection that it's missing many essential amino acids. And you also need to know that a lot of people, for example, athletes, avoid soy protein. And that's because soy proteins contain something called phytoestrogens. In simpler terms, these are female hormone analogs. This does not build muscle. In fact, it's catabolic. It's what we call feminizing. And there are other very serious health concerns about soy. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to leave it up to you to look up on the internet. So let me say something a little bit unscientific. I know, Meredith, you like me to keep scientific, but I'm going to say something unscientific. I see soy as the fast food of proteins. Okay, a little bit closer, fructose. For those of you who don't know, fructose is sugar. In fact, one of the cheapest sources of sugar with a high glycemic index. Not that that's a huge disaster. You know, we can eat some fructose, but to have it at the second largest ingredient in a health shake, that's just wrong. Cellulose powder, corn bran, not that these are unhealthy in themselves, and you know they supply some fiber, but this again is very cheap fiber, and as the third most prevalent ingredient, says to me that is really acting as filler. Artificial ingredients, you know, we can have a large debate about this, but I'm sure most of the people listening to this are not fans. So back to the package. Healthy? Well, let me tell you what my daughter would say to me. Please, please. So we've looked at the dark side. Now let's look at what we are interested in. What is a good protein? We'll start with proteins. What is a good protein to have in a health shake? Okay. Well, there are many scientific measurements to evaluate the value of a protein. You see some of them on the slide here. I'm not going to get into them. But for those of you in the know, let me ask you, which protein do you usually think comes out on top of any of these measurements? Which protein usually scores number one when you use these different yardsticks as a measurement for protein quality? Yep. I know most of you got that one right. Whey protein. And nobody will ever argue about that. This is a well-accepted fact. Let's look at just one of those measurements, something called a biological value. And you see that far and away, Immunotec has the highest biological value of any edible protein in the world. Get that? Now, whey is in second place. And more than egg, more than milk, more than fish, beef, chicken, and certainly more than soy. Now let's look closer at grains. We all consume grains. These include things you know well, like wheat and corn and barley and rice and others. We could look at their protein content, and you see them there on your chart. You see quinoa, not something that everybody is very familiar with, but wait, what grain has the highest protein content of any grain? Yes, amaranth. Now, I know that many Hispanic people, many Mexican people have heard of that grain, but most other North Americans never heard of this. So let's take a closer look. Amaranth is actually a really beautiful plant that grows mostly in hotter climates. It comes in all different colors, and it's actually quite stunning to look at. And when you grab a hold of those big red flowers, and you shake them out, you see you get these little grains, or you get these little seeds quite easily. And it's these wonderful grains where all the power exists. In fact, it is these grains that were the staple food of the Aztec nation, one of the greatest civilizations that ever existed. And we're finding out more and more about what a spectacular and large civilization this was. Here I see some ancient drawings of an Aztec, shaking out those amaranth plants and getting the grains from the amaranth plant. And here's a cool one. It's showing an Aztec mother chewing amaranth and spitting it into a large bowl. And what's she going to do next? She washes her baby. Look at the little guy. She washes her baby in the amaranth. That's just a reflection of how important this crop was revered for its health benefits. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that you all do this, but it makes the point about its importance to the Aztecs. Let's get back to science. There are more and more articles being written today looking at the health benefits of amaranth, and I welcome you to look up some of these. Easier and easier to find these articles as research progresses. And what are some of the things that this science has discovered besides the high protein content? Amaranth is the leading plant-based source of a substance called squalene. Squalene is a collagen precursor. Squalene prevents skin damage. Squalene repairs DNA. It increases fat metabolism. Increases your HDL, that's your good cholesterol. Amaranth has far more lysine than any other grain. This is an essential amino acid. It helps metabolize fatty acids into energy. It helps absorb calcium. And get this, it has immunological benefits in that it is used itself as an antiviral. Amaranth has what we call a satiety effect, meaning that it makes you feel full. This can decrease your desire to stuff yourself with more food. Amaranth, unlike many other grains, is gluten-free. This is important for a lot of people. And we can go on and on about the benefits of amaranth for the cardiovascular system and more. So why are we spending so much time on this? Why is this so important? It's important because there's nothing more critical to your health than what you put into your mouth. Nothing more important. And I know we're all too busy to cook fresh foods for ourselves and for our family. I understand this. I mean, really, fresh food would be the best health solution. But we're often forced to look for alternatives. So my message to you is be educated about this. Don't pick a package or a supplement because of what appears on the label. Take the time to read and understand the ingredients and trust what you are buying is going to actually benefit your health.
Thank you so much, Dr. G. Wow. And that's why we're here, right? You and I and all of the amazing leaders at Immunotec, both on the corporate side and here in the office, and then also out in the field, sharing and caring, products that they know, sharing a company like Immunotec that has science, real science, and that will only give you the best of scientifically validated products because we're solution minded here. When Dr. G and the research and development department get together, the people that he works with that report up to him, and they have these great conversations and get into their minds. Okay, what should we come up with? They're not looking for me too. They're not looking here. We have solutions because we're solution minded, and they're not saying, well, what is that? What is another company coming out for? Let's jump on that bandwagon and move forward. No, not at all. He's saying, all right, where's a problem that we need to solve? And having said that, as part of the human race, part of what we do here at Immunotec, we are here to make the world better. It's our culture. It's our purpose. So we have a solution here to all of the issues that he just brought up that you heard Dr. Gutman talk about, and that is the on-the-go shake. And so at that point, this is where we want to just talk a little bit about it and kind of summarize it for you. It is absolutely an amazing breakthrough product, and we're going to talk about it. It comes in two amazingly delicious flavors, lots of fun. So, of course, for all our chocolate lovers, and I've been out there now, on the road with the shake, for a number of days, starting our tour. And we asked people to raise their hands. What do you like? And the room is really split. There are the chocolate lovers, and then those who just love vanilla because the vanilla can mix with everything. And it really comes down to the question that we ask: do you want to eat healthier? Because these are some pretty simple questions. Do you really think that you're getting the nutrition that your body is craving? This is a solution to that. Are you finding that you're running to the cupboard as soon as you get home from work and just reaching for that box of crackers or some processed food, shoving it in your mouth and eating 3 serving sizes in 5 minutes? This is a way to, again, a solution: reduce that hunger. Do you want to look and feel better? Do you want to have more energy? All of those questions that you ask yourself, the solution is here. It is nutritious. It is super convenient. Everyone take it. So you can, mix up a big batch. You can share it with the whole family, with grandma and the kids. You can have it any time of day. You can have it at breakfast. You can have it in the evening. And there are 12 servings per bag. And again, you can mix it up with the family or keep it all to yourself, either way. But the whey protein, the story that Dr. G just talked about it, this is what we talk about here at Immunotec. It is, what is our USP? What is our unique selling proposition? Because we're not a Me Too company. We're looking for something special. And sure, we could have just knocked out another shake, but no, all of the months and months that went in, to researching this formulation, and Dr. G only puts his seal of approval, on the very, very best, because he cares about you like we all do. This is an exclusive protein blend. It's very exclusive with, again, the effective whey protein and the amaranth. Now, of course, I don't think you should be, chewing up and necessarily, giving your babies baths in it. But regardless, it's kind of an interesting story. I guess we could put a baby in the chocolate shake. I don't know what they would absorb. We'll have to talk about that, Dr. G, on another show. But it is our exclusive nutrient blend, the Pro AMA 22 or Pro AMA 22, however you want to say it. Why did we name it that? Why did we call it that? Well, because we wanted to make it easier to remember and easier to explain. It's protein, it's AMA, amaranth, and it has 22 vitamins and minerals. And guess what? It is trademarked, unique to Immunotec. So you won't be able to find that down at Costco or down at the Five and Dime. So and of course, there's many, many more things that you can talk to with your friends, with people you're sharing with it. It gives you fiber. There's no artificial sweeteners in here, and yet it tastes great. No artificial flavors, and it's gluten-free, which of course is all the rage right now. But best of all, it's only 130 calories. And if you're used to counting calories, you may know. Do you realize that is 1 Reese's peanut butter cup? So if you think of a Reese's peanut butter cup as health food because of the protein there, I would just push back on that and say, I don't know very many people that eat just 1. So probably your better choice, your smarter choice, go with the shake and stay away from the little cup that you need to eat really, more than 1 to be satisfied. And dare to compare it. I mean, take a look at this with our lovely Egg McMuffin and hash browns. Of course, that's a good comfort food then. But for those 400 calories, what are you getting? It isn't just the caloric intake here, how many minutes you have to spend on that treadmill. We're talking about 21 grams of fat. Oh my goodness, look at that cholesterol. Look at this. So if you're thinking of a snack you want in the morning, I know this morning, I pulled out my shake and I threw in a 1 cup of spinach. I put in a banana, a raw egg. Of course, I wash the outside in Veggie Wash, so you don't have to worry about the thing that makes people nervous about raw eggs. And I threw in that with a cup of almond milk. And let me tell you, that shake that I got for less calories has everything that you need, for me to run, through 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because the flavors are great. And the chocolate actually is such a great flavor. It'll mask any spinach if you're worried about the greens. Throw them in there. Make it a meal if you want to. Throw in some seeds, make it fiber, whatever you want it to be. Put it in your shaker cup, shake it up on the go. It is up to you what you want to do with it, but it is absolutely so easy to mix, and you can get super, super creative. And again, almond milk is spectacular in both flavors, so that you can look at that when you're upping your protein as well. And it is super fun to work with. I've seen people stirring it already into Greek yogurt. You can just add it for that extra flavor. I put it in some muffins the other night just because, of course, we're playing with it in the kitchen, having lots of fun. And actually, I put it in some date, no cook snack bars. Super spectacular taste, lots of fun. But this is a way for you to live better, for you to eat better, because you know what our slogan is here at Immunotech, the science of living better. It's what we do. And what better way to start out than eating better, right, Dr. G?
You got it. It's the best way.
All right. Well, I think we're about out of time here, but again, I just recommend to everybody who's listening to this, share this with a friend, especially when you're signing up your new people. This is the best way to give them really solid product education. Go into your archives. They're all there. Every single product that we carry, Dr. G has spent time, delving into this kind of a presentation. And you know what? He's a fun guy to listen to. I sure enjoy you, Dr. G. I love the time that we spend together. So thank you so much for joining us, as always, on this monthly call.
Thank you. Thank you. I have as much fun as you do. Trust me.
Great. And thank you, of course, to our team that puts all of our slides together, makes these creative marketing materials, because the reality is that you want to make sure that you have lots and lots of tools, to work with. And I think I kind of passed by that slide really quick because I'm so excited about this shake right now. But we do have beautiful tools to work with. This is, again, we don't want you to be the message. We want you to be the messenger. And so what better way than to point people to the website, point people to the video, point people to the catalog, let them know about the archived educational, and most of all, to have a stack of these in your car. Our product info sheets are beautifully designed. They're double-sided. They have lots of, ways to explain it. And that way, when you, mix them up and maybe you mix it up for a friend, use our great shaker bottle. And then leave them with a flyer to take a look at. Again, a beautiful way, to present everything that we do. So, as we always do, we love to have these backed up by an incredible offer for you. And we've been having so much fun with this on the road, but, buy 3 bags and getting 1 free. What an incredible offer, for you to be able to share it. And again, you can mix it up at, when you have people over for a barbecue and let them taste it, let them sample it. Ask them, to just take a little, which is your favorite flavor. Try them both. But this is, again, been extended by popular demand through this month. And so as you're listening to us again, whether live or on replay, we always make these available for you on demand around your busy lifestyle, just like our newest breakthrough product, Immunotec's Shake on the Go. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week as we talk about how to maximize all of the amazing incentives and the compensation here at Immunotec. Thanks all for joining.